Aha, good morning. I hope you are doing well. We are now set to start our class. So, the class is set to begin. The class is set to begin. If you are in, type on the comment section and say you are in. And after you type on the comment section and say that you are in, you can also ensure that you like this video, you like this live. Just say you are in, indicate your name there so that I'll know who is in class. So do that kindly. And yesterday we introduced ourselves to gradient and equation of straight lines. That was within the framework of the last minutes. And today we will start this new topic, gradient and equation of a line. Remember, we are still working out on paper 1, mathematics paper 1, and we said that mathematics paper 1 majorly assesses form 1 and form 2 work, and I want us to emphasize on what is expected during the exam. So for our new students, in our past or our previous lessons, we have already worked out on statistics, we worked out on matrices, and we are now about to work out on gradient and equation of straight lines. So by the time you are going back to school, at least you would have covered over 5 topics in paper 1, which I'm promising you, if you revise them very well, you will be able to maneuver through some questions that are assessed in paper 1, and you will increase your chance of passing. So before we start this live, ensure you like this video, like it. And the reason I tell you to like it is because it is going to be a very, very, very inspiring video, and it is going to change your attitude and your mindset on how you see mathematics. So just write down on the comment section, write down on that comment section and say you are in, the specific number of students who are in, so that I'll know ni nani wako ndani tuanze. So I can see a good number of people are in, and we will kickstart our lesson. So gradient of a straight line, this is the first subtopic we are going to dive in. Yesterday we introduced ourselves to equation, gradient and equation of straight lines, and we even went further to determine the gradient of some, we went further to discuss on the gradient of what we call lines, and we said that gradient is also referred to as a slope. So when you are told to determine the slope of a line, it simply means the gradient of a line or a slope. So for instance, if we have a line here, if we have a line here, AB, if we have our line there, AB, just a minute, I want to add on to some brightness here. If you have a line AB here, and the coordinate of A is x1, y1, and the coordinate of B is x2, y2. For us to determine the gradient of AB, the formula is change in y over change in x. So change in y, in this case, we can say y2 minus y1, the difference in y over the difference in x. The difference in y over the difference in x. So remember, coordinates on the Cartesian plane are always represented in form of x and y. Coordinates on a Cartesian plane are always represented by x and y. When we talk of a Cartesian plane, we mean of something like this. We have the x-axis and the y-axis, and we have a 0. So when we have 1, 2, 3 on the x-axis, we also have calibrations on the y-axis. So when we talk of coordinate, an example of a coordinate being 3, 3. When we have an example of a coordinate 3, 3, we mean this one is the x coordinate and the second 3 is a y coordinate. So we will come here and read 3. Then we start with the x heading to y, 3, and that becomes our point. So generally, coordinates on a Cartesian plane are represented in form of x, y. So we will move straight to how to determine the gradient of a line. We have said that gradient is also referred to as a slope. And we have said that the formula to find the gradient of a line is equivalent to change in y, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That is the formula that we have said is used to determine the gradient. So if we may have an example, one, and our example is find the gradient of line PQ whose P into brackets 0, 2 and Q 3, 4 and Q 3, 4. So that is an example. Find the gradient of the line PQ whose P is 0, 2 and Q is 3, 4. For us to determine this gradient, as we have said, we need to understand that this P, we can decide on this becoming x1 and this one y1. And we can decide on this becoming x2 and this y2. Therefore, the gradient of line PQ is going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. The difference of y is what we call the change in y over the change in x. The change in y, so y2 is going to be 4 minus y1 is going to be 2 over x2 is 3 minus x1 is 0. So 4 minus 2 is equal to 2 and 3 minus 0 is equal to 3. Therefore, the gradient of PQ will be equal to 2 over 3. The gradient of PQ is equal to 2 over 3. The gradient of PQ is equal to 2 over 3. So let us have another example 2. Example 2, find the gradient of the following lines. Find the gradient of the following lines. Find the gradient of the following lines. Roman 1, negative 3, 4, and negative 2, negative 5. Roman 2, negative 3, negative 2, 5, and 5, 7, and 5, 7. So we are supposed to determine the gradient of those two lines. This is the first line and this is the second line. So how do we go about that? As we have just said that gradient is equals to change in y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That is how we find the gradient. So the gradient will be equal to, so we can decide this to be x1 y1 and this to be x2 y2. x2 y2. So for us to find the gradient, it will be y2, which is negative 5, minus y1 is 4 over x2 is negative 2 minus x1 is negative 3. So it is going to be minus 5 minus 4 over minus 2 minus 3. Because our x1 is negative 3. So it will be minus 3. So that will give us minus 5 minus 4 is equal to minus 9 over negative 2 minus becomes plus. So minus 2 plus 3 will be equal to 1. Definitely our gradient will be equal to negative 9 divided by 1 is equal to negative 9. Our gradient will be equal to negative 9. Let us do Roman 2. Or do this. Do Roman 2 and send your answer on the comment section. Everyone, do Roman 2, find the gradient of this line and drop your answer on the comment section. We've already done 2 examples. You can now do the third one and send the answer on the comment section. Sahi. Who and who is in? Jerry Njogona, are you in? You said you are going to be in today. Are you in? Leo tujapata mtu wa kutufanyisha mazoezi kabla tuanze class. Anyway, do question 2. Do question 2 and send your response on the comment section. Aguet? 2/7. Nani mwingine amefanya? Kila mtu afanye. Let everyone participate. This is a class we all have to participate. Habiba Aden. 2/3. Habiba Aden, 2/3. Long. Nelson, 2/3. No. Long. Mary Mboro 2/7 correct. Nelson 2/7 correct. Aguet 2/7 correct. Yvonne 2/7 correct. Bandan Ababin. Sir, please solve integration. Integration is not for today. Today we were scheduled to have gradient and equation of lines. Integration we are going to do it later. Right now we are working on mathematics paper 1 before starting to work on paper 2. So I promise that I'm going to do that one later, and if you are interested, you can probably correct my contact +2547420900825. You can contact me through that number. Don't call for now. That is Bandan Ababin. Don't call for now, but you can just drop a text on my WhatsApp, and I'm going to see you through later after the class. But for now, we have been working on paper 1. That is our schedule. Mary Mboro 2/7. 2 over 7, kila mtu 2 over 7. 2 over 7 is correct. 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 Let's continue. I can see you are good in determining the gradient. Gradient. Gradient of lines. You can also do another example. Find the gradient of this line. Line M, -3, -2, and N, -4, -5. Find the gradient of that line. Tafuta hiyo ikiwa ya mwisho, so that we can proceed to find the equation of straight lines. Said the response to that question. Aguet 3. Another person 3. Na mtu mwingine who else? Nelson 3, correct. Merimbolo 3, that is correct. Another person. Who else? Yvonne 3, correct. Another person. Yes, 3 is correct. The gradient is equal to 3. The gradient is equal to 3. There is no need of doing that. You've already done it. Correct. So I want us to proceed now on equation of straight lines. We now know how to find the gradient. We now need to learn on how to determine the equation of straight lines. So we will start with the first example. Example 1. Find the equation of line AB given that A is 2, 3 and B is 6, 8. 3 marks. Find the equation of the line AB given that A is 2, 3 and B is equal to 6, 8. B is equal to 6, 8. So how do we respond to that question? Step number one in finding the equation of a line, you must find the gradient of the line. So step 1 is find the gradient. Find the gradient. You find the gradient. So line AB 2, 3 and 6, 8. Find the gradient of the line. Give me the gradient on the comment section. Give me the gradient on the comment section. So find the gradient, which we said is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So give me the gradient of that line. The gradient of that line. So this being our x1, y1, x2, y2. And remember we said order does not matter. This can be x2, y2, and this can also be x1, y1. It is not compulsory for it iwe hivyo. So the gradient will be 8 minus 3 over 6 minus 2. So the gradient will be 5 over 4. The gradient will be 5 over 4. Aguet collect 5 over 4. Merimboro 5 over 4. Who else? Who else? 5 over 4. Yvonne, collect. So that is the gradient. After you get the gradient now, remember I told you I am teaching you what is relevant. By saying I'm teaching you what is relevant, I mean I'm going to be taking you straight to the point on what you are supposed to do. Sawa sawa? So listen and listen carefully. After you find the gradient ni kumaanisha all points that lie in the course of this straight line. Hapa tunaweza sema we have another point xy. Any point ziko kwa hii line, ukichukua hata coordinate yoyote, hata yenye iko hapa ama hapa ama hapa, any zinaweza kupatia gradient 5 over 4 zote, provided you take 2 and determine the gradient. Your gradient will be equal to 5 over 4. That is something you need to understand. So what happens is that in this case now, you choose the coordinate you want us to use. You choose either A or B. Mnataka tutumie gani? In this case, I will choose to use A. It doesn't mean you cannot choose to use B. Hata hiyo unaweza tumia. Tuende na A kwanza. Tumeamua tuchukue coordinate 2, 3. Coordinate 2, 3. Check this one out. The gradient is 5 over 4. The gradient is 5 over 4. Hiyo tumepata gradient. And what we call arbitrary points of a straight line is x and y. For you to draw a straight line, you must locate the point x and locate the point y. So we call these two arbitrary points of a line. The arbitrary points of a straight line. And the arbitrary points of a straight line are x and y. So for us to find the equation of the line, this is how we go about it. Venye tu tulisema gradient is change in y over change in x, ndio tutafanya pale. Y minus 3. Remember tumesema any coordinate ambayo iko kwa hii line inaweza tumika kupatiana gradient. So y minus 3 over x minus 2 inafaa itupatie gradient ya 5 over 4. Any point, hata kama tu kuwa na 6, 8, tuwe na point ingine hapa na ambayo tumeita xy. Tuseme y minus 3 over x minus 2, that is change in y over change in x, it should give us this gradient. So tukaamua tutumie hii, na hata kama bado tungeamua tutumie 6, 8, bado ingekuwa tu sawa, haingekuwa na shida. So y minus 3 over x minus 2 is equal to 5 over 4. After we get that now, we cross multiply. When we cross multiply, we take 4 into brackets. Y minus 3 is equals to 5 into brackets x minus 2. So we take 4 times y will be equal to 4y minus 4 times 3 is equal to 12 is equals to 5 times x is equal to 5x. Then 5 times negative 2 is equal to negative 10. Is equal to negative 10. Once we do that, we are now going to take this to the other side. E constant equal 4y is equals to 5x minus 10 plus 12. 4y equals to 5x minus 10. Ikienda huko itakuwa plus. So itakuwa plus 12. And by doing so, we will have 4y is equal to 5x minus 10 plus 12. Uko na deni ya shilingi 10, ulipe shilingi 12. Utapitisha na shilingi 2. So itakuwa plus 2. After we have that, you can divide both sides by 4, by 4, by 4. And we are going to get the equation of our line. We will get the equation of our line. We will get the equation of our line as y is equals to 5 over 4x plus 1 over 2 or 2 over 4. 2 over 4 is the same as 1 over 2. Mbona tumeiandika hivi? Because the equation of line should be written in form of y is equals to mx plus c. The equation of the line should be written in form of y is equals to mx plus c, where m is the gradient. Where m is the gradient. M is the gradient. By saying m is the gradient, where is our m here? Y is here. M is 5 over 4. You see x is here, and our constant is 1 over 2. So our m is 5 over 4. Was 5 over 4 our gradient? Yes. So the equation of line, the equation of a straight line, so I want you to note this with a lot of concern. The equation of a straight line, the equation of a straight line, the general equation, the general, ongeza hapa, the general equation of a straight line is in the form, y is equals to mx plus c. Is in the form y equals to mx plus c. Mx plus c. Mx plus c. Mx plus c. Where m is the gradient. 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 I want us to do some more and more examples on how to find the equation of a straight line given the coordinates. How to find the equation of straight line given the coordinates. Given the coordinates. We have a question here that we are going to do together. I hope you have written this one down. And this question was assessed in KCSE 2013 paper 1 number 12. 2013 paper 1 number 12. And the question reads, a straight line passes through a straight line passes through a straight line passes through points -2, 1 and 6, 3. -2, 1 and 6, 3. Full stop. Find part A. We will only do part A because part B hatujafika hapo. Tukifika nitawaambia. Part A. Find the equation of the line. Find the equation of the line. Find the equation of the line in the form in the form y is equals to mx plus c. M is equals to mx plus c, y equals to mx plus c. 2 marks. We have been told to find the equation of that line. We have been told to find the equation of that line. If you have not subscribed to my channel, ensure you subscribe to my channel. Also ensure you turn on the notification bell. When you click that kabel, kana kaanga hivi, itakuleta kwa personalized all, upande hapo uguze all. It means every notification and every post that I make, you will always be notified provided you are online. So sometimes I even don't have to share the link. You will just find, if you have subscribed and you have turned on the notification bell, immediately I am online. Nimeingia tu live vivo, ama nimeshoot anything, nimeupload any video, itakuanga ina click kwa notification button yako, inakwambia there is something that has been uploaded, or there is a live streaming session that Mr. Kariuki is having. So in the meantime, let us continue. So if it is your first time being here, ensure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on the notification bell. Let us proceed. If you have written down the question, let me have the liberty to erase the question so that we can do our calculation here. So the question reads, a straight line passes through the points -2, 1 and 6, 3. Tumeulizwa find the equation in form of y is equals to mx plus c. Find the equation in form of y equals to mx plus c. So what we are going to do in this part, we will take this as our x1, y1, x2, y2. We said order does not matter. Tunaweza sema hata hizi ni x2, y2, x1, y1, haina shida. Then we proceed by finding the gradient. How do we find the gradient? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That is how we find the gradient. So our gradient will be equal to, our y2 is 3 over minus our y1 is 1 over our x2 is 6 minus our x1 is -2. And by doing that, we will get 3 minus 1 is 2 over 6 minus minus 2. Minus and minus is equal to plus. So 6 plus 2 will be equal to 8. So our gradient will be 2 over 8, which is the same as a quarter. Our gradient will be 1 over 4. When we get our gradient as 1 over 4, we said without overthinking, you can choose any coordinate you want to use. Either this one or this one. Tukasema, which coordinate do you wish us to use? Sahi. Tunaweza tumia hata hii ya pili, haina shida. We can take 6, 3. Then the gradient is 1 over 4. Na tumesema arbitrary point are x and y. Si lazima ushinde ukichora laini. It is not a must you draw the straight line and show where the arbitrary point is. You can just put an x and a y there. And by doing that, we will now have change in y minus 3. Bora usiwahi anza na 3 minus y, ikuange y minus 3 over x minus 6. That is equal to 1 over 4. That is equivalent to 1 over 4. Y minus 3 over x minus 6 is equal to 1 over 4. And by having that, we will now cross multiply and start na hii ya y. So itakuwa 4 times y minus 3 is equals to 1 times x minus 6. And when we do that multiplication, 4 times y will be equal to 4y. 4 times -3 will be equal to -12. Is equal to 1 times x is equal to x. And 1 times -6 is equal to -6. Once we have that, we will have 4y minus 12x minus 12 equals to x minus 6. So what we are going to do is that we will now take this to the other side of the equal sign. And we will have 4y is equals to x minus 6 This one is minus 12, so when it goes to the other side, it will be plus 12. So that will give us 4y is equals to 8 minus 6 plus 12 is equal to plus 6. You can use a calculator in that case. So you divide both sides by 4, by 4, by 4. And once you divide by 4, you will have y is equals to 8 over 4. 8 over 4 is the same as 1 over 4 8. Plus 6 over 4 is the same as 3 over 2. And you are done determining your equation. Have you understood? If you have understood, say yes on the comment section so that I can give you some questions to do, and I will probably know that you have understood. If you have understood, just inform me on the comment section now. Have you understood the concept? So that I can send you some more and more questions. I want to give you some work here. Niko na maswali hapa. I have some questions here. Before, write down the gradient of each of these lines. So question 1, write down the gradient of these lines. Write down the gradient of these lines. So kwa hizi line, I want you to just show me the gradient. A, y is equals to 3x plus 1. B, y equals to x minus 5. C, y equals minus 4x plus 3. D, y equals a half x plus 3. E, y equals minus 3x minus 7. Kwa hayo maswali, I want you to just show me the gradient. Show me the gradient on the comment section. I've already explained what the gradient is from the general equation. Just show me the gradient. Show me the gradient. A is 3, B is 2, C is negative 4, D is negative a half, and E is negative 3. That is correct. Remember we said the gradient is equal to M. M, correct? Alright, let's move on now. So this is your assignment. Write those 3 questions as a part of your assignment. If you have any question, just post your question on the comment section. Just post your question on the comment section if you have any question. And we will proceed now. We have now determined the equation of straight lines. There is something I'm going to give as a disclaimer. I'll give this as a disclaimer. Note this with a lot of concern. When you are determining the gradient, given the equation, to determine the gradient, the equation must be written. The equation must be written in form of y is equals to mx plus c. For you to determine the gradient or to show the gradient, the equation must be written in form of y equals to mx plus c and the coefficient of y, and the coefficient of y be equal to 1. Be equal to 1. Hebu sikiliza. This is what I mean. For you to determine the gradient of a line, let me use an example. Mention the gradient of these lines, The first line A is 2x plus 3y plus 5 is equal to 0. And B, 3y plus 5x is minus 5 or is equals to negative 2. You have such lines and you have been told to mention the gradient. Don't dare and say the gradient is 2. No. I want us to do that step by step. I hope you have written this information down. I want us to do that step by step. So we have our first question. 2x plus 3y plus 5 is equals to 0. For you to find the gradient, you must ensure you write this equation in form of y equals to mx plus c. Lazima uandike hii equation yako hivi. Na ukiandika hivyo, utaanza na y, kumaanisha utaanza na 3y mahali iko, eka equals. Equals ziko hapa. Hizi zingine zote ziende the other side. So ukipeleka 2x na huko itakuwa minus 2x. Ukipeleka 5 na huko itakuwa minus 5. So umeiandika hivyo. Ukiandika hivyo, ili upate gradient lazima y hapa before y iwe 1 isikuwe 3. So lazima udivide kila kitu na 3 na 3 na 3. Ili ubaki na y equals to minus 2 over 3x plus 5 over 3. Sasa ikiwa hivyo, unaweza sema your gradient is negative 2 over 3. Your gradient is, unaona hapa ni y. So gradient yako ni negative 2 over 3. Part B. 3y plus 5x is equals to negative 2. y plus 5x is equals to negative 2. Nataka tufanye hiyo. Tumesema lazima tuiandike iwe in form of y equals to mx plus c. Kumbuka, as far as speed is concerned, direction is also very very important. So hakuna haja ya kukukimbiza then you miss the little points ambazo ni muhimu. Y equals to mx plus c. So tutaanza na hii 3y hapo. Equals iko hapa, tuweke equals. Tupeleke hii the other side. Tukipeleka hii the other side itakuwa ni hiyo already iko the other side, itakaa minus. So hii itakuwa minus 5x nayo ile ibaki minus 2. Na juu tunataka gradient, we will divide by 3 by 3 by 3. Tukicancel ibaki y equals to minus 5 over 3x minus 2 over 3. Hiyo ndo equation. So our gradient here is negative 5 over 3. Have you understood? I hope you have understood. Sasa kabla tuende hiyo point nyingine, nataka unitafutie gradient ya hizi laini. Nitafutie gradient ya hizi laini. Nitafutie gradient ya hizo laini. Tafutia gradient ya hizo line mbili. Tafutia gradient ya hizo line mbili. Nelson -7/2 is correct. Ya pili -1/3 is correct. Agwet -7/2 correct. Yvonne -7/2 is correct. Habiba Aden that is correct. Tuendelee. So at least mkiwa mmejua hivyo, we can now proceed to the next thing. Juu tusi kama tu ungesema hiyo, ingefika mahali tuchanganyikiwe, na ni vibaya sana kuchanganyikiwa. Changanyikiwa is very very bad. Haya. Sasa hii concept nyingine nataka tuingie ni parallel lines. Parallel lines. Parallel lines. So what are parallel lines? So Agwet hiyo ni minus h/3 is the same as minus a third h. So it should be -1/3. The gradient cannot be minus h/3. Ukipata maybe y equals to minus a third h plus 2. No, minus h/3. This is the same as saying y equals to minus 1/3h plus 2. So your m is going to be minus 1/3. I hope umeona hiyo. So tufanye parallel lines. Parallel lines tunasemanga these are straight lines that cannot meet. Na si tu kumeet. Parallel lines zinakuanga straight lines. For instance, if we can say this is AB and line PQ, we will say the two lines are parallel to each other. The reason why they are parallel to each other is because the distance between the two lines is the same. If that is x, this is also x. Na kama distance between them ni the same, ni kumaanisha from one end and another end ama hata katikati, ni kumaanisha hizo line haziwezi patana by all means. They are straight lines but cannot meet. So concerning parallel lines, the concept is very very easy. Si tumesema tunaenda na keywords, we are learning what is relevant instead of so many stories. Umeona parallel lines ni nini? Wewe andika, weka star, useme parallel lines have the same gradient. They have the same gradient. They have the same gradient. Hiyo story inaisha. Parallel lines have the same gradient. Wacha tujaze kalamu ink ili kazi ifanyike vizuri. Parallel lines have the same gradient. Sasa tuingie kwa calculations. Parallel lines have the same gradient. Haya. There is a notice I want to pass. Next week tutakuwa na classes, but I will create time. Probably you may not be available at night. I will plan next week at night, one night, to do paper 1 2025 KCSE, and I will be live streaming in YouTube. I will do all questions. Even if it will take 3 hours, I'm going to do it. So you can access it at your own time, but if you will be available, you can just get in and watch. And also probably predict on the questions that are likely to be assessed coming 2026. Haya. Tuendelee. Parallel lines have the same gradient. So parallel lines, tunasema they have the same gradient. What does that mean? If these two lines are parallel to each other, and the equation of this line is y equals to 2x minus 1, this can be y equals to 2x plus 4. So what is their gradient? In both cases, their gradient is 2. The gradient of line 1 is 2. The gradient of line 2 is also 2. So it means they have the same gradient. Their gradient is 2. Just that. Can we now respond to questions? Yes. Let's now proceed to respond to questions on parallel lines. Parallel lines. We have a question here, and this question was assessed in 2003, paper 1, number 5. Allow me to correct a narrative as I write this question. There is a fallacy I want to correct now, and please listen and listen to me. I cannot mislead you. I'm not an author of confusion. So allow me to write this question and correct that narrative now. A straight line passes through points A negative 3 8 and B 3 negative 4, find the equation of a straight line through 3 4 and parallel to AB give your answer, or give the answer in the form y is equals to mx plus c, where m and c are constant. Before we respond to that question, there is a narrative that has been bought by so many students that I want to correct now. And the reason I want to correct it is because when I was a student like you, it misled so many students. I remember, we know that back in 2006 is when the curriculum was revised, the high school curriculum was revised. So there is this laziness that spreads across high school students that I will only revise questions that were assessed from 2006 onwards, coming to 2025. No. Let me tell you something. The innovation and the application that is being applied now, not just even in the course of exams, but in the course of even science, it is innovations of hundreds and hundreds of years ago. This question I've just written here was done on 2003 paper 1 number 5, and it is on parallel lines. And whether it is 100 years to come, the concept of parallel lines will remain the same. It will not change. It will not change. So that is laziness that has been well groomed and fashioned to show as if there is a difference between whatever was being assessed from 1989 to 2005, and trying to clarify on more of the good and the work that you're supposed to do should be from 2006. No, mathematics does not change. If you have that old KCSE made familiar starting from 1989, I can attest to the fact that if you can use that book and do questions assessed back in 1989 coming onwards, you will be very, very good. Very, very good compared to a person who will only stick with questions that have been assessed in the current or in the previous few years. So, I know kuna wengi mnasemanga sijui hii kazi tunafaa tufanye from 2006 juu hapo ndipo maswali ya 10 marks ilikuja, hiyo nyingine ilikuwa 8, lakini hesabu ni ile ile. Equation of line still remains the same. Usidharau swali lolote. That is what I wanted to drive in. So no matter the book you are using, hata kama kitabu ni ya back in the Mesozoic eras, that book is very, very relevant. Those questions are very, very relevant. They will help you improve in your critical thinking and also in problem solving skills. Let us proceed to do this question. So, this question tunaambiwa a straight line passes through A, negative 3, 8, and B, 3, negative 4. Alafu tunaambiwa find the equation of a straight line, another line, passing through, so this we can call it line 1. We have another line 2 that is passing through 3, 4. And we are told that it is parallel to AB. So these are two lines. We have line AB, whose coordinates are negative 3, 8, 3, negative 4. And we have another line 2, and this line is passing through 3, 4, a point 3, 4, and these two lines are parallel to each other. So we are supposed to find the equation of this line, not this one, this line. So how do we go about that? This is how we go about it. We will first determine the gradient of AB. So how do we find the gradient of AB? Taking this as x1, x2, x1, y1, x2, y2, we can be able to find the gradient of AB. And the gradient of AB is going to be minus 4 minus 8 over 3 minus 6. And once we do that, so the minus 4 is y2 minus y1 minus 8 over x2, 3 minus 6, x1. So that will give us 4 minus 8 is negative 4 over 3 minus 6, that is equal to 9. Because minus is plus, so it is 3 plus 6 is equal to 9. So the gradient is going to be 4 over 9. Listen, we are supposed to find the equation of this line parallel to AB. A line parallel to AB. So check this one out. If the gradient of AB is negative 4 over 9, that means even the gradient of line 2 is also negative 4 over 9. Why? Because the two lines are parallel to each other. And if the two lines are parallel to each other, na tunajua already hii line inapitia 3, 4, we can proceed to find the equation. So it is 3, 4, gradient negative 4 over 9, x, y. Why are we saying that? The gradient being negative 4 over 9, we have been told to find the equation of the straight line through 3, 4 and parallel. Underline the word parallel to AB. If it is parallel, it means they share the same gradient. And if they share the same gradient, we will take the point of contact of the line 2, the gradient negative 4 over 9, and the arbitrary point of that line, which are still x and y. And once we do that, we will now take y minus 4 over x minus 3 is equal to negative 4 over 9. Is equal to negative 4 over 9. So we can now cross multiply here. We will start with 9 into bracket y minus 4 is equal to minus 4 into bracket x minus 3. And by doing that, we will take 9 times y is 9y minus 9 times 4 is 36 is equal to minus 4 times x is minus 4x minus 4 times minus 3 is plus 12. Minus 4x times minus 3 is plus 12. Negative 4 times negative 3. A negative number times a negative number is equals to a positive number. So that is why we have plus 12. Usishindo imetoka wapi. So by doing that, we will now take this to the other side and have 9y is equals to minus 4x plus 12 plus 36. So when we have that, we will have 9y is equals to minus 4x, 12 plus 36 is equivalent to 48. Is equivalent to 48. And by having that, we will divide both sides by 9, by 9, by 9, 9, 9, we have y as minus 4 over 9x plus 48 divided by 9. 48 divided by 3 is equal to 16, and 9 divided by 3 is equal to 3. So that will be our equation. Y is equals to negative 4 over 9x plus 16 over 3. I hope you have understood. Have you understood? Should we do another example, or should I give you some more questions? Do we do another example? Line L1 whose equation is 2x plus 3y is equal to 5 is parallel to line 2 which passes through one 4. Find the equation of line 2 in form of y equals to mx plus c. 3 marks. I want us to do that question. Agwet. No, I've not understood. Okay, let's do more examples. Let us do more and more examples. So we have another question. Write that question down. Let's continue. So in this question tunaambiwa a line L1 whose equation is 2x plus 3y is equal to 5. So the equation of line 1 is equals to 2x plus 3y is equal to 5. Nilikuambia hata kabla usome mahali kwingine, ukiona equation yako imeandikwa hivi, tafadhali, ukiona equation yako imeandikwa hivi, ensure you write it in form of y equals to mx plus c, ili ujue gradient ni nini. So what you will do here, line 1 itakuwa nini? y tutaanza na hii 3y, tuweke hii equals yetu mahali iko. Juu hizi ziko side moja ya equals, 2 iende the other side iwe minus 2x. Nayo 5 juu already iko the other side itabaki hapo plus 5. Tukifanya hivyo to divide by 3 by 3 by 3 tupate line 1 is y is equals to minus 2 over 3x plus 5 over 3. Kwa hivyo tukiwa tumepata line 1 yetu ikiwa hivyo, our m gradient itakuwa negative 2 over 3. Hiyo kwanza unatafuta. Anytime umeona jina parallel and perpendicular, hatujafika perpendicular. Ukiona tu jina parallel, work out on the gradient first. Work out on the gradient first. So what we are going to do is tushapata gradient ya line 1. So tunaweza endelea kusoma swali letu. Swali letu linasema is parallel to line 2. So line 1 is parallel to line 2. Tukuje hapa. Line 1 yetu iko parallel to line 2 yetu zote. Na line 1 tushapata gradient yake ni negative 2 over 3. Kwa hivyo hata gradient ya hii bado ni negative 2 over 3. Lakini tunaambiwa is parallel to line 2 which passes through 1 4. Hii line 2 ndo inapita mahali coordinate yake moja ni 1 4. So tunajiuliza, tukiwa na coordinate moja ya line 2 na tuko na gradient ya line 2, juu gradient ya line 2 bado ndio gradient ya line 1 because parallel lines have the same gradient. So can we be able to find the equation of line 2? Yes, because we have one coordinate where line 2 passes and we have the gradient of line 2 which is negative 2 over 3. So how do we go about that? Wacheni sana nifute swali. Najua mshaandika swali. So in this scenario now, we want to find the equation of line 2. Na tuko na coordinate moja ni 1 4. Na tuko na gradient yake ni negative 2 over 3. Na tulisema the arbitrary points of a line are x and y. They are x and y. I hope so far I'm clear and you are understanding what we are doing. So from there now, we can proceed to find the equation of the line. We can proceed to find the equation of the line. So what we are going to do is, we will take y minus 4 over x minus 1 is equal to negative 2 over 3. And once we take that, we will cross multiply and have 3 into brackets y minus 4 is equals to minus 2 into bracket x minus 1. X minus 1. And by doing that, we'll have 3 times y is 3y minus 3 times 4 is 12 is equal to minus 2 times x is minus 2x. Then minus 2 times minus 1 is plus 1. A negative number times a negative number is equal to a positive number. So we will now take this to the other side of the equal sign and have 3y is equals to minus 2x plus 1 plus 12. Minus 2x plus 1 plus 12. And once we have that, it will have 3y is equals to minus 2x plus 13. Minus 2x plus 13. So by having that, we divide both sides by 3, by 3, by 3, and we'll have our y is equals to minus 2 over 3x plus 13 over 3. I want you to note the difference. The same, there is a similarity, the gradient is the same. Minus 2 over 3 and the other one was still minus 2 over 3. Have you understood? Have you understood? So we do more and more examples. It's okay. Kuna swali liko hapa. A line which joins the points point A 3K and B -25 is parallel to another line whose equation is 5y plus 2x is equal to 10. Find the value of k. Find the value of k. 3 marks. Find the value of k. So I want us to do that question. A line which joins the points A 3K and B -25 is parallel to another line whose equation is 5y plus 2x is equal to 10. Find the value of k. Find the value of k. So wewe usishughulike na k. K isikupee stress. Please. K isikupee stress. Hiyo ndio tunatafuta. So angalia hapa. Tumepewa line AB is parallel to another line. So kuna hii line nyingine. Apart from line AB kuna line nyingine ambayo tuko na equation tunajua. So kuna line AB na iko parallel na another line. Kuna another line 2 ziko parallel. Hii already tunajua coordinates zake ni 3k na hii tunajua coordinates zake ni -25. But hii tunajua equation yake ni 5y plus 2x is equal to 10. Nilikwambia kila mahali umeona parallel unatafuta gradient kwanza. So what we are going to do is tutachukua hii line 2 tutafute gradient yake. 5y plus 2x is equal to 10. Na tulisema gradient is in form of y equals to mx plus c. Lazima tuiandike ikiwa hivi. Kwa hivyo ili tuiandike ikiwa hivi tutasema aje? Tutasema 5y hii cos yetu ibaki hapo, hii tuipeleke huko iwe minus 2x, hii ibaki hapo plus 10 juu iko on the other side of the equal sign. Then we divide both side by 5 by 5 by 5, na tutabaki na equation ya line 2 kama y equals to minus 2 over 5x plus 2. So chenye tuko na umuhimu nacho ni hii gradient m is minus 2 over 5. Hiyo ndio tuko na hoja nayo, hiyo ndio tuko na hoja nayo. Na kama ni hiyo tuko na hoja nayo, ni kumaanisha hata gradient ya hii ni minus 2 over 5 na gradient ya hii ni minus 2 over 5. Kwa nini? Hizo line mbili they are parallel to each other. 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 So tunaweza endelea kutafuta k. Sasa hii ni rahisi hapa. Already tuko na coordinates za m, za a na za b, na tuko na gradient. Iko hivi. A ni 3k, b ni negative 25 na gradient ni negative 2 over 5. Hiyo haiwezi tushinda kutafuta. So ikiwa hivi, si mnajua gradient inakuanga hiyo ni x1, hii k yetu ni y1. Hata ikiwa k ni y1, hii nao ni x2 na hii ni y2. So usiseme ni k haiwezi kuwa y1. Coordinates zinakuwa in form of x, y. So hii 3k, k is also y1. So how do we find gradient? Gradient, now I can be using m. At least mnajua m ni gradient. It is change in y over change in x. Change in y over change in x. Kumaanisha 5 minus k over x2 ni minus 2 minus 3 itatupatia nini? Gradient is minus 2 over 5. Minus 2 over 5. So ikiwa hivyo tuko na 5 minus k over minus 2 minus 3 itakuwa minus 5 is equals to minus 2 over 5. Minus 2 over 5. Tukifika hapo we cross multiply. When we cross multiply, we will have 5 into bracket 5 minus k is equals to minus 2 times minus 5. Minus 2 times minus 5. And that will give us 5 times 5 is 25 minus 5 times k is 5k is equals to 10. Is equal to 10. And when we have that, itakuwa tupeleke hii na huko, tubaki hapa na minus 5k is equals to 10. Ikienda huko itakuwa minus 25. 10 minus 25, and that will give us minus 5k is equals to 10 minus 25 is equal to negative 15. 10 minus 25 is equal to negative 15. We will divide both sides by negative 5 by negative 5, and by dividing we will get our k as 3. Our k as 3, and by doing that you get your 3 marks. You will get your 3 marks. Have you understood? Have you understood? Drop that on the comment section whether you have understood or not. Na mtu haelewi sana mwalimu akifunza. Hiyo ingine huu unaelewa nikikupatia maswali. So assignment nitakupatia bado na utafanya hayo maswali. Iko sawa? Iko sawa? Okay. So I want to give you a brief, a short and brief break. A break kadogo, like 10 minutes. You can refresh. Once you refresh, we will be back and do the last concept. We are back. Shaurao, God bless you bro. Thank you. Agwet, yes. Tumeelewa. Okay. Yvonne, yes. Good. Yes, kuna mtu ameniambia teacher abarikiwa. May God also bless you. Remember, service to humanity is service to God. I'm not just doing this for my own sake, I'm also doing this. This is what I've been called for. I was born a teacher. I even started teaching before I became a teacher. I started teaching when I was still a student. Just imagine. So this is my passion. I'm doing what I love, and I'm doing what God, the Supreme God, has called me to do, to impact tribes through academics and to bring light to the world of academics. Let's proceed. Perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines. So this is what we are going to do now. So what are perpendicular lines? So these are straight lines. These are straight lines that intersect. They are straight lines that intersect at right angle. They intersect at right angle. Right angle simply means 90 degrees. 90 degrees. So we have an example. An example here. We have line 1 and we have line 2. So these two lines intersect at right angle. So line 1 and line 2 are perpendicular to each other. Line 1 and line 2 are perpendicular to each other. Or line 1 is perpendicular to line 2. Line 1 is perpendicular to line 2. Line 1 is perpendicular to line 2. So two lines that meet at right angle, or two lines that intersect at right angle, are referred to as perpendicular lines. So we said in parallel lines, we said parallel lines have the same gradient. But right now I want us to understand the property, or to be aware of the property of straight lines we use in perpendicular lines. So what you need to understand about perpendicular lines, note the product of their gradient. The product of their gradient is -1. The product of their gradient is -1. That is the rule. The rule of perpendicular lines. The product of their gradient is -1. The product of their gradient is -1. And when we talk of -1, we mean m1 times m2 is equal to -1. m1 times m2 is equal to -1. m1 ni gradient ya line moja times gradient ya hiyo line nyingine, zinafaa zitupatie -1. The gradient of the first line and the other perpendicular line should be equal to -1. So in this case, the gradient of line 1 and the gradient of line 2, when you multiply the two gradients, they should give us -1. That is the rule we are going to be applying now. So there are some questions I want us to do. Find the gradient of the perpendiculars of the following lines. Find the gradient of the perpendiculars of the following line. A, 2x plus 3y is equal to 5. B, 3x plus 4y is equal to -6. C, x minus 3y plus 5 is equal to 0. Write down those questions. Nataka tutafute the gradients of the perpendiculars of the following lines. We now respond to these questions. So tunaambiwa ya kwamba find the gradients of the perpendiculars of the following lines. So our first line, this is now the solution part. Our first line is A, 2x plus 3y is equal to 5. 2x plus 3y is equal to 5. And we are first going to write this equation in form of y equals to mx plus c. Tupate gradient ya hiyo line. So itakuwa 3y equals, tupeleke hii na huko ikuwe -2x, then hiyo 5 itabaki tu hapo plus 5. Then we divide by 3 by 3 by 3. So this equation is the same as y equals to -2 over 3x plus 5 over 3. Tunapata hiyo. Tukipata hiyo, what we are going to do, tutajibu swali find the gradients of the perpendiculars. So hii line ni moja, tunataka tutafute gradient ya perpendicular yake. So hii line tuko nayo iko na gradient ya -2 over 3. M1 is equals to -2 over 3. So tunafaa tutafute M2 ni nini. M2 hatuna, we don't have M2, lakini tunajua M1 times M2 inafaa tupatie -1, so lazima tutafute M2 juu tushaambiwa ni find the gradient of the perpendiculars. Cha nifute hata hii space tutoshe. So what we are going to do, tutasema M1 times M2 is equal to -1. Tuchukue our M1 ni -2/3 times M2 ndo hatuna, ndo tunatafuta, equals to -1. So what are we going to do? -2/3 times M2 itakuwa -2/3 M2 is equal to -1. Na juu tunataka kubaki na M2 peke yake hapa, what we are going to do, we will multiply by the reciprocal on both sides, 3/2 na hapo 3/2. Tukimultiply hivyo M2 itakuwa nini? -1 times 3/2. Negative and negative will cancel, so our M2 will be 3/2. Tumemaliza. Our M2 is 3/2. So that is the gradient of the perpendicular of this first equation. Tufanye la pili. Part B ni 3x plus 4y is equal to -6. 3x plus 4y is equal to -6. In that scenario, tumesema kitu ya kwanza ni kuandika equation yetu in y equals to mx plus c. mx plus c. And for us to write our equation in form of y equals to mx plus c, we are going to start with 4y is equals to x will be, tuipeleke the other side, 4y equals to, hii tukiipeleka huko itakuwa -3x, hii nayo itabaki -6. After we do that, we will divide by 4 by 4, na tutakuwa na y equals to -3/4x minus 6/4 is the same as 3/2. 6/4 is the same as 3/2, and our M1 is -3/4. Our M1 is -3/4. Tunataka M2 ya perpendicular ya hiyo line, na tunajua M1 times M2 is equals to -1. So tutachukua M1 ni -3/4 times M2 ni M2, tuite tu M2 juu hatuna, that should give us -1. That should give us -1. So -3/4 times M2 itakuwa -3/4 M2 is equals to -1. -3/4 M2 is equals to -1. Then we multiply both sides with the reciprocal, 4/3 times 4/3. 4/3 times 4/3. And by doing so, we will get our answer as, itaisha na hiyo na hiyo na hiyo, tubaki na M2 is equals to -1 times -4/3, it will be equal to 4/3, and we are done. And we are done. Please do the last part. Do this one. Do that part. Fanya hiyo. We, kwani mumeenda? Nataka mjibu hilo swali. Find the gradient perpendicular to that question. You are not responding to that question. What is not happening? So we have x minus 3y plus 5 is equal to 0. X minus 3y plus 5 is equal to 0. Tukasema the first step is write the equation in form of y equals to mx plus c. And what we are going to do, we will start with this minus 3y is equals to, this will go to the other side ikuwe minus x, na hii hapa itaenda ikuwe minus 5. So we will divide both side by negative 3 by negative 3 by negative 3, na tutapata y is equals to 1 over 3x plus 5 over 3. 1 over 3x plus 5 over 3. We already have this as our m1. So our m1 is a third. We need to find our m2 ambayo hatujui, but tunajua m1 times m2 is equals to negative 1. So we will take a third times m2 is equal to negative 1, and by doing so we will get a third m2. Yvonne, hiyo umepata. Oh, you have retracted the message. So it is a third m2 is equals to -1. So you will multiply by 3/1 by 3/1. And once you multiply by 3/1, utabaki na m2 is equals to -3. m2 is equal to -3. So that is how we go about it. Application of perpendicular lines. Tufanye hiyo juu sasa masaa inasonga na tumeenda vizuri. By the way, we are proceeding well. Questions. (1992) paper 1 number 9. A perpendicular is drawn from a point 35 to the line y plus x is equals to 3. Find the equation of the perpendicular. Haya. A perpendicular is drawn from a point 35 to the line 2y plus x is equals to 3. Find the equation of the perpendicular. So, kitu tumesema ukiona tu jina perpendicular unajua ni line mbili. Kuna hii line moja ambayo tunasema ni 2y plus x is equals to 3. Na hii tuiite line 1 na kuna line 2 ambazo zinashikana at 3 5. So hii point ni ya zote mbili, hii na hii, so tunaweza itumia hapa na hapa. So tunaulizwa tutafute equation ya hii line 2. Tuko na ya line 1 zinapatania hapo line 2. Ukisikia tu ni perpendicular, tulisema ukiwa na equation 2y plus x is equals to 3, you need to write your equation in form of y is equal to mx plus c. That is the first thing we said. Na tukasema hii itakuwa 2y equals, hii ikienda huko itakuwa minus x, na hii ikiwa hapa ni 3 itakuwa bado plus 3. So for us to get the equation in form of y equals to mx plus c, we divide by 2 everywhere, and we get our y is equals to negative x over 2 is the same as negative a half x plus 3 over 2. So our m1 is negative a half. 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 When our m1 is negative a half, what we are going to do is tutatafuta m2. Juu tumeambiwa perpendicular is drawn from a point 35 to the line this. Find the equation of this perpendicular, this line. So already tukiwa na hiyo hatuna m2, so tutatafuta m2 juu ndio gradient ya hapa ya hii line, na tulisema m1 times m2 is equals to negative 1. m1 times m2 is equals to negative 1. So tutachukua negative a half, we multiply m2, it should be equal to negative 1. It should be equal to negative 1. And by doing that, negative a half times m2 itakuwa negative a half m2 is equals to negative 1. So we will multiply both sides by 2 over negative 1 by 2 over negative 1, the reciprocal, so that cancels out, and we are left with m2 is negative 1 times negative 2 is 2. So our m2 will be equal to 2. Or negative will cancel with the negative, and we are left with 1 times 2, which is 2. So tuko na m2 ni 2, and it passes through 3, 5. So it is 3, 5. The gradient is 2 over 1, and the arbitrary point of the line are x and y. Are x and y. So when we have that, what we will now do, we will take y minus 5 over x minus 3 is equal to 2 over 1. Hiyo procedure nyingine mnaijua, finding the equation. So it is 1 into bracket y minus 5 is equal to 2 into bracket x minus 3. 2 into bracket x minus 3. So 1 minus y is y minus 1 times 5 is 5 is equals to 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Is negative 6. Then the next one will be, we take this to the other side. Tukue na y is equals to 2x minus 6. Hii kienda huko itakuwa plus 5. Itakuwa plus 5. And we will have y is equals to 2x minus 6 plus 5. Uko na deni ya shilingi 6, ulipe shilingi 5, utabaki na deni ya shilingi 1. So the equation will be y is equal to 2x minus 1, and by doing that you get your 3 marks. 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 Let's do another example. Find the equation of the perpendicular Find the equation of the perpendicular to the line x plus 2y is equal to 4 and passes through point 2 1 and passes through point 2 1 2 marks and passes through point 2 1, that is 2 marks. So the equation of the perpendicular to the line, so we already have one line, the equation of that line is known, but the equation of the perpendicular that passes through 2 1 ndo tunafaa tutafute. So step number 1, we find the gradient of this one line. And to find the gradient, we must ensure our equation is written in form of y equals to mx plus c. So we will start with 2y is equal to, we take this x to the other side, itakuwa minus x, then that will remain 4. Then we divide by 2, by 2, by 2, and we will get y equals to, we have said negative x over 2 is the same as negative a half x, plus 4 divided by 2 is 2. So what will happen is that y is equal to negative a half x plus 2. So our m1 is equals to negative a half. Our m2 we don't have, but we all know that m1 times m2 is equals to negative 1. So negative a half m2, negative a half times m2 will be equal to negative 1. Tutafute gradient ya this line, the second line perpendicular. So itakuwa negative a half m2 is equals to negative 1. So we will multiply by 2 over negative 1 by 2 over negative 1. And once we do that, we will get m2 is equal to 2. The gradient is equal to 2. So the gradient being equal to 2, and the line passes through 2 1. So 2 1, and the gradient is 2, and the arbitrary points are x and y. Arbitrary points are x and y. Can you be able now to find the equation? Yes, because you have the coordinates of point of contact, you have the gradient, and you have the arbitrary points as x, y. So that is possible to do it. So y minus 1 over x minus 2 is equals to 2 over 1. Is equal to 2 over 1. So we will cross multiply 1 times y minus 1 is equals to 2x minus 2. And once we do that, we will get 1 times y is y, minus 1 times 1 is 1, is equal to 2 times x is equal to 2x, minus 2 times 2 is equal to 4. Is equal to 4. So y is equal to 2x, itaenda huko, minus 4, ikienda huko itakuwa plus 1. So our equation will be y is equals to 2x minus 4 plus 1 is minus 3. And we are done, and by doing that you get 2 marks. So the equation of the perpendicular is y is equals to 2x minus 3. 2x minus 3. Have you understood? Have you understood? Aya. Let me give you a question then. Let me give you a question. Do this one. A perpendicular to the line y minus 4x plus 3 is equal to 0 passes through the point negative 8.5. Determine the equation. Do that question. That is one question. Question 2. A straight line L passes through the point. It passes through the point 3, negative 2 and is perpendicular to a line whose equation is 2y minus 4x is equals to 1. Find the equation of L in the form y is equals to mx plus c, where m and c are constants. And that is 3 marks. Do those two questions. Do those two questions in the meantime. Nelius Wambo. Question 2. A straight line L passes through the point 3, -2 and is perpendicular to a line whose equation is 2y minus 4x equals 1. Find the equation of L in the form y equals mx plus c, where m and c are constants. Where m and c are constants. Is it clear now? Aha. So I want to wish you a good day. Have a successful day ahead. And we've come to the end of our class today. At least we've done from introduction to perpendicular lines. I'll now share questions based on what we have done, and also the remaining part on XY intercept and point of intersection, I'm going to do it in our next class, during our next class. And I want to wish you to a very good day. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, ensure you click the button subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you'll be updated with everything that we will be doing. Have a good day.